Hello, I'm Michael Stewart, and I am pleased to be able to share with you just for a few moments something that I would want to encourage you to consider. And I'm talking to you on the subject today of how to make your relationship resilient and to last long. How to make it last long. You see, I've met people who have been in relationships and they have been in relationships for as many as 2 years, 3 years, and quite a number of relationships end quite early. In fact, I've met somebody who have been married for 24 hours. Imagine that. Today, my anniversary is today. It's having celebrated with my wife 36 years married. And I met somebody today who was married for 60 years. And I've known of people who have been married for 50 years, 55 years. So there are some people who have been married for, and in relationships, steady relationships, for a considerable period of time. But there are certain things that seem to be common in all of the long-lasting marriages that I felt I should share from my own experience as I reflect today and from the experiences of some of these people that I have spoken with. They say that number one is commitment. Commitment to the relationship, commitment to the marriage, commitment to the institution, not necessarily the person. If you're committed to the institution, you will be committed to the person. If you're committed to the person, you may not necessarily be committed to the institution of marriage or the relationship itself. Because the person will change. The person will be good one time and bad another time. That's always operating in flux. But the institution of marriage is usually stable. The institutions are usually stable. This is why if you want to build a good business, build an institution and don't make it a personal matter. Because whenever you get away with the boss, you look to resign. Whenever you get away with the staff, you're going to look to fire them. But if you are committed to the institution that you work at, then that institution would last long after the people in it have gone. And so we need to be able to understand and respect the institution of marriage and the institution of relationships that we are in. That is what is going to keep us committed. That commitment, therefore, is that willing determination to be in this thing because you see it is a worthy, valid reason to be in the relationship. This must be a willing participation. Now, as long as people have two things in particular. Number one, the ability to adapt. Because if you're going to be in a relationship, you got to make some adaptation. That means that you, under this circumstance, right now the relationship is going through some rough times. You must be able to adapt because it is going through a rough time. Your partner is going through a hard time, and the partner may not be behaving in their normal self. You must be able to adapt to that circumstance. You must be able to not necessarily give a signature of approval to it, but you must be able to make that adaptation. And what we say, adjust yourself. So you must adapt and you must adjust. This time, the person is in a bad mood. I am going to let this ride. I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm going to not say anything about it now because now may not be the right time to raise the issue about how they are behaving or the transgression that they have made. That is necessary. You cannot every time try to deal with situation because you feel you need to deal with it at this time, and the person who's going through the thing cannot expect that because I'm going through something I can behave anyhow in the relationship. You yourself, every one of us, both persons in the relationship must adapt and adjust. Yes, you're going through some rough time, but do you need to have to take it out on your spouse? Do you have to behave that way? Do you have to carry on like that? Do you have to be in that mode in order for them to, because hey, listen, I'm not willing to make any adjustment. But there are times that you are going to lose it, and your partner may need to be able to fill in to make that adjustment and adaptation. That's commitment to the relationship. That is important to make it work. The second thing I want to say that is important in the relationship is you must have the spirit of forgiveness. No relationship is going to last without forgiveness. And the reason I say this is because of this reason. Every vehicle, you might have a new brand vehicle. The vehicle is good. but every so often it needs fuel to keep it going. Forgiveness is that fuel to keep your relationship going. If you remove forgiveness, a good relationship can come to a standstill. You must be willing to forgive. Your spouse will transgress against you. You will transgress against your spouse. You are not married or you're not in a relationship with a perfect person. You're in a relationship with a human being. And part of that is going to be the fact that the person is going to come short. You will come short. Forgiveness is a necessity. You cannot be bringing up things from the old past, not letting go of some things that has happened. The person must not pay for their errors forever. You got to learn to forgive. Every relationship that has lasted long, they will tell you this is the one thing that continues to be persistent and consistent is forgiveness. So you must be committed, but you must also be prepared to forgive. Forgiveness is being able to watch somebody and not hold their fault against them. No, that's hard, but it is possible. It is necessary if the relationship is going to last. Because if you're not prepared to forgive, look at how many relationships you'll go into with persons who are humans. They will do it to you. They will hurt you. Everybody's going to hurt you at some point in time, regardless how close you are, how loving you are to them. Are you going to pick up and leave every time? Of course not. This is why forgiveness is so crucial. Thirdly, yes, you must be committed. Yes, you must forgive, but you must have the ability to apologize. Yeah, because you are going to have two things that will take place in a relationship. One is rupture. Rupture is when something is done that puts the relationship into crisis. It is going to tear the relationship. Rupture will happen, but repair is necessary. The apology is the repair. Forgiveness is the fuel. Apology is the repair. Because we got to always be repairing and having to admit that we have transgressed. You cannot, and you and I cannot be in a relationship that would last long, done something wrong and not own up to it. We must take responsibility for the errors that we have made and come clean with the partner. Own up to what you have done wrong. If you do that, the person is going to have some measure of respect for you, and the person is going to have some measure of forgiveness that they can apply. It is difficult to apply forgiveness to somebody who will not own up to their faults and apologize for it. Just say, I am sorry. And when you're saying that you are sorry, do not make an excuse for why you do it. Just apologize. Just take it and apologize. Now, if you do those three things in a relationship, every long lasting relationship will tell you those three things exist: commitment, forgiveness, and apology. I'm telling you, having made married now for 36 years, you reap the benefits years later. And that's why I want to suggest to you, take a little time. You may be running in and out of relationships, running it in loops. You don't have to. You don't have to be changing partners every time. You could make yours a resilient and strong relationship. I'm Michael Stewart. Make it work. You are responsible and you are the reason for your own success. You have yourself a wonderful day.